The last 4.5 to 5 minutes are dedicated to something Cody's been wanting to anxiously talk about. Something he saw on Reddit. A baseball fan trying to choose whether they should be a Cubs fan or a Sox fan. Cody, your advice.
All right, so like this guy, what's funny is the guy went to the internet to try to find out if he should be a Cubs or a White Sox fan. And to me, that's red flag number one.
That's a flag.
Lawrence,
nobody goes to the internet to find that.
I threw the tweet in Slack, in the Cubs Slack, if you want to pull it up. People probably know what I'm talking about. It kind of went viral on Twitter, at least late last week.
When did you throw that
in
there?
That's Nick Madrigal.
Anyway, so yeah, he left this message saying, he
threw it in there yesterday, Lawrence.
He grew up around Cubs fans. He grew up around Cubs fans, but in college he went to a lot of White Sox games. And now he lives like 10 minutes away from Wrigley, so he lives in Lakeview, Wrigleyville, wherever you want to call it. So he's decided. And he comes to Reddit to ask people, what should he be? And I don't know, man. Like, I still haven't changed my mind. I would rather him go be a fan of the White Sox than be a fan of the Cubs, based off the fact that he hasn't been there for all the pain. Like he knows about it, but did he feel the pain of Alex Gonzalez fumbling the ball in Game 6 of the NLCS in 2003? Did he feel the pain of Daniel Murphy turning into God in 2015 in the NLCS against the Mets?
Not getting swept by the Dodgers in 08?
Did he feel the pain of the Dodgers sweeping the 98-win Cubs in 2008? Did he feel the pain of Game 163 against the Brewers in 2018? No, he knew about it. He probably felt bad for his friends, but did he go down a mental dark hole of sadness for weeks, months? Probably not. And so for me, he should honestly go either be a White Sox fan or go watch Yankees like every other casual fan in this country.
So you're saying you want him to experience some of the misery?
Yes. I need you to experience
So therefore he should be a Sox fan because their season's going to be bad this year.
Well, that's not my reasoning. I'm just saying if you force me to make him choose one, I would rather him go be a Sox fan.
So he doesn't have to share in the misery, is what you're saying, or
no? Because I just would rather Cubs
he had
fans
his opportunity.
Be the one. Yeah, I feel like he had his opportunity. He said he grew up around them and then went to Sox games when he was in college, and all of that put together, and he couldn't come up with something himself. He had to come to the internet and ask us. Are you kidding me, brother? Oh man,
that's I don't know if I would have thought about it that way, but that's an interesting perspective.
I honestly would rather him just go choose a different team, because I don't even think he I don't even think
he can handle the heartbreak.
You don't think he's a real baseball fan?
Exactly. I think he's very casual.
Because I have noticed one of the things
Cody's gatekeeping right now.
A little bit, yeah.
You're not allowed. You're not serious enough about this team.
If you're not serious enough, then I don't want you. I'm sorry. We're here for 162. We grind and we die with this team. And when they lose, we're sad and we drink lots of alcohol to get over it the night
Goose Island,
of. And Goose Island especially. And then, we get back up and get ready to be heard again the next day. That's how this works. All summer.
To be quite honest, he might just want to be a Chicago Dogs fan.
There you go.
Low stakes.
Low stakes?
That's fine.
Fun environment.
Cheap tickets.
Yeah. I one of the things that Brendan and I bonded over when we met 7 years ago was that we have an innate ability, to Cody's point, 30 seconds into a conversation, we can be on a tangent that shows how miserable we are. We could be talking about the most pleasant thing that has ever happened to us in the world. Give us 30 seconds, and we're talking about Nafi Perez or, Cody said, Alex Gonzalez. We can get there so quick. And we both identified, we were we're so miserable. What is wrong with us? Why are we talking about this? We were having a nice conversation. Why are we talking about this? And so that is a good point from Cody, that that's part of it. My thing is I didn't choose. My parents were Cubs fans. My family was Cubs fans. That's just what was on. That's what it was going to be.
Well, they pushed you on a path.
Right. They pushed me on it. And my dad would probably say well, I was miserable through this. I think he carried around a newspaper clipping from the 1984 season in his wallet. He ripped it up in 2003 and left it at Wrigley Field.
Left it there.
So like I was born into misery. It's like Bane in the Batman movie. I was molded by it. I was born into it. But
So if you're choosing between teams and said team hasn't made you want to vomit at some point in your choosing, then you should look at another team.
But also like our guys Sean and Herb are definitely going to say like, you think the White Sox haven't been making me miserable my whole life? Like, what are you guys talking about over here?
Your team at some point in your watching your team, when you're picking a fandom, at some point your team should always want to make you vomit.
Yeah.
At some point in your fandom, you should be like, boy, that game made me want to vomit.
But what you really want is to vomit because they did not do as well as they should.
Yes.
Like if you were a Yankees fan, Yankees fans vomit because the Yankees don't win the World Series every year. And that's like, if you're a fan, that's what you want.
Correct.
I feel like it's a feel thing. In this person's position, I think it's a feel thing. You watch the games, you go to games, and it's like brings us full circle to how we started this conversation, right? Like, spend a season watching both teams, or get MLB TV, watch a bunch of teams, switch the broadcasts. Like, maybe you'll develop a connection to one of the broadcasters. Hey, I really love this radio broadcast, or I really loved this ballpark, or this area, or the people that I met, or the hot dogs at the stadium. I don't know. I'm just like spitballing.
The game in a long season, you'll always have a "this made me sick" feeling, and hopefully, wow, that was fun
it'll
feeling.
come to you.
That's how you know it's your team.
Like, to spin it, to say that I wanted to try and go and convert this guy into a Cubs fan. I'd go talk to this guy, ask him first off, why are you going to the internet and asking about this? And then second proceed to explain to him what it means to be a Cubs fan, what it's like to go to Wrigley Field, why people chant right field sucks when they sit in left field, and vice versa. And like all these little things, I could tell them all this stuff and then get to the heartbreak or even the good times like 2016. And I guarantee you that guy still isn't going to feel like I feel about the Cubs. And that's kind of my point.
Yeah, maybe someday he'll get there.
This is your
you
ask him.
You can't expect him to get there on day one.
You should have decided what team you liked when you were a kid, dude. That's how it works.
This is your mission should you choose to accept it. You lay out the rules. You're going to have to feel strongly about all these things. Mission impossible. Isn't that what it says? This is your mission. Should you choose to accept it, and it's going to blow up or whatever?
It's kind of like
the wrong Tom Cruise movie.
It's kind of like Rachel from the UK,
it's no Dark
right?
Knight,
She told us when she came here that she'd only been a Cubs fan for a few years, but like in her scenario is different because she lives in the UK, not here in Chicago, and like it's just a lot different. Like she kind of fell in love with the Cubs based off something. I think she said something about meeting up with people at a bar or something like that. I can't remember.
Pub maybe.
Blue Dad says a point.
Quit
Let him cub his way.
Yeah. Don't tell people
how to cub. Don't tell him how to cub.
I do entirely know what Cody's saying, because I mean he and I are like the same age, and so I
kindred spirits,
went through the same stuff. Like I do get that, but I also feel like, I don't know, like it's a very special thing, and like I would invite anybody to
I
would rather and try to be a part of it.
I would rather him root for the Cubs than the White Sox, but is he going to be the first person that I would want to go watch a baseball game with? No, he's going to be like number 10 on the list.
10?
10?
Wow, that's pretty high up the list.
I don't have a lot of friends. So,